Alright, I'm going to close my door. Okay, so I'm going for my walk. How's it going, everybody? It's Ryan here, and today I'm going to make a video walking. As you may or may not know, I am trying to get over the fear of recording myself in public using a humongous camera. Actually, it's something that I want to do, but I don't know. I don't know if you saw my previous video on the beach, hold my camera up. You know, I'm kind of getting used to the whole filming myself in public, not feeling awkward about it. I like this vlogging and stuff because to me it's like doing a journal entry. It's therapeutic, you know. I kind of want to continue. You know, I had this actually really good. Oh, I heard this really good quote. I've been listening to this guy recently, actually just yesterday. It was a pastor, you know, a pastor. I'm not even really a religious type person, you know, but as my life has gotten better and better, it's kind of like, or has, you know, been growing, it's kind of hard to like, I don't know, I gotta recognize how lucky I am, you know, so that's sort of what I've been thinking. But he said this thing I was listening to. His name's TD Jakes, big black guy, deep voice. And then I looked up his net worth. I was like, oh shit, this dude's fucking rich. $150 million net worth. Anyways, that's besides the point. Very motivational. The thing that he said that was pretty cool was there's gradual, something about people, when it comes to graduation, people miss the gradual in graduation. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, no, like we're trying to graduate, and he's talking about entrepreneurship, like business and making, you know, money and being successful, you know, accomplishing your dreams, right? And that's what kind of graduation is, or even in school, right? You're trying to graduate, right? And I don't know, like you gotta take one step at a time. Anyways, another thing I want to talk about is I actually want to talk a little bit about what someone asked the other day. Talk about how to stay motivated. And let's go film a car. Because that way I don't feel silly. Film myself. It's kind of hard. You see this big old rig. Look at this. Can you see my shadow here? Look at that. Filming myself. Anyways. So how do you stay motivated, right? Well, this is how you stay motivated. I talked about this already. Am I going to talk about this again? I don't know. Maybe it seems like we all need some help staying motivated. So maybe this will actually be worth talking about again and just repeating what I said or repeating something similar. And that's having a higher purpose, having a bigger reason. It's kind of weird. Again, all religious feels so spiritual, but it doesn't even really have to be religious. It just has to be something really important to you, you know? Because that's really what it is, you know. I mean, like sometimes I got into marketing and I got into what I'm doing because it was an interest of mine. But now that I'm kind of hitting some goals for myself anyway, that not humongous goals, but goals that give me a lot more freedom, is I found that, well, let me put it this way. Okay, so there's a story, or I think it's like in Alaska or I don't know where, somewhere cold, right? And are you the type of person that goes out and goes and gets some fish? Or are you the one that goes out and goes and kills the walrus and feeds the whole tribe, right? Because when you go out and kill some fish, you feed yourself, maybe a little bit of your family, right? But are you the one that goes and hunts and kills the walrus, which is kind of unlikely to hunt, right? So, do I want to be a walrus killer? You know, someone that essentially creates more opportunity for other people. You know, more and more opportunity, right? I've been doing well in my marketing business and things have been doing good. And you know, we got this one person working for us, his family member actually, she's doing good. And it's kind of like, you know, do I want to do more of that, right? It's kind of cool because she's such a great employee, such a great family member, so it's kind of like she's going to be with us forever. And it's really fascinating because you can create more and more opportunities like this for other people, you know, if you think big. You know, it's kind of fulfilling that you can do this, you know. It's kind of creating like a basically a business family, or if it's family, right? I don't know, blabbering again. But again, creating that bigger reason for wanting to to chase something, you know. And what's the irony about this whole staying motivated thing is that it requires weight. Like, you know, you can't, you know, deadlift fast if there's not a little bit of weight, right? I mean, like let me explain. So if you want to get strong, you have to push weight. And even if you really want to like say go fast, you're still limited, because really you need that extra weight. And what I mean by that is like a reason, right? For me, it was family. A big part of what I do. It's a big part of what I do is because of family. Family, humongous motivator. And because family is such a humongous motivator, it's like I got kids, you know, got 3 kids, you know, I'm married. It's kind of like I got this push, you know, to take care of them, you know. But going back, right, before kids, before getting married, you know, I had another purpose, which was to be somebody, right? And you know, for some people that's just not, you know, I think about like Jeff Bezos and like Elon Musk, or you know, Steve Jobs. You know, for some people, like those guys I just mentioned, is they have this big vision, right? And that's really what it really does come down to. That it's like having big dreams, right? I'm like kind of in this process of myself trying to figure out what are my big dreams. You know, what is the big thing that what is the big thing that I want to accomplish, right? What is my mission, right? And I'm gonna tell you right now, you know, trying to stay motivated. That's the reason why I'm doing this video, right? Is I'm a little scared. I am scared, right? To put myself out there, you know. Like even this is not that scary because I know not a lot of people will watch it, right? But then as I kind of grow this following, if I'm not even sure if I'm gonna even do this all the way. See, that's the thing. See, like I'm hesitating, and that's the problem, right? So like I'm doing this process to help other people who watch my channel. I'm also doing it for myself to be therapeutic, but I'm not doing this at a grand scale, and I don't have to, which is sort of the cool thing. I'm rambling, right? But like it's to stay motivated, you got to have a big vision, and if you don't know what that big vision is, like I'm talking to you, I'm saying I'm having trouble finding out what my big vision is. I just know that the direction I want to move in, right? I know what kind of industry I want to get into, or I'm just in kind of what subject matter, and it's kind of led me to where I'm at. And that's kind of what you have to do. You just gotta find something that you're interested in. You know, they say this thing about ADHD or having, you know, entrepreneur shiny object syndrome. You know, squirrel. What's that squirrel? And that's bad, right? You got to be focused. But the problem is the reason why that it can be good if you know how to like manage it and tame it. Is what it will do is it'll keep you interested in whatever you're learning. You know, like here's an example, right? So if you're something that keeps you motivated every day, I already know. It keeps me motivated every day too. And you know what it is? It's social media, TV, Reddit, Facebook, email, right? Open email, ooh, new messages. Facebook, ooh, new notifications. You know, Reddit, new thing they're talking about. Commercial. Hot chick walks by, or whatever, or good-looking guy walks by, or you know, rich person, famous, you know, all that stuff is novelty. It's stuff that is motivating in a sense that it has grabbed your attention, because that's really what motivation is. Motivation is attention. Okay, I'm gonna put a note in this. The good stuff starts at 9 minutes 30 seconds because I got something now. Okay, so motivation is simply attention, right? Because when you're really motivated, something has your attention. And going back to what I said earlier about the big vision, right? About the big vision, you know, that has your attention. So that when something gets boring or monotonous or irritating or painful. The big vision is driving you, right? Whereas short-term interest, short-term motivation, for example, like, you know, hot chick that walks by, or social media ping, or text message, or, you know, stuff that's like not boring. That's motivating because it's grabbed your attention. And that's what you do, have to listen to that. You have to listen to what you naturally pay attention to, right? And often it's easy to find things to pay attention to. Like, I just watched 2 seasons of House of Cards, and you know, it's Kevin Spacey who's in the news right now. Not really good about stuff about him. Anyways, off topic. But the point is, I'm watching the show, I'm into it, and I could be listening to a book instead, you know, or reading reading an article that's a little bit more, you know, maybe beneficial, who knows. But my point is that this show has had my attention. I was actually on a plane. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why I watched it, is I was on a plane to Florida, and I watched a lot of it. So it's kind of like, you know, so you got to pay attention to what makes you pay attention, because it keeps you motivated, it keeps you awake. When something is boring or too boring, you know, it won't keep you awake. It won't allow you to really dig. You know, it's kind of like, again, even more tangents, like dating, seeing men or women or whatever. It's like you're interested in the person, and so you want to know more. So there's lots of curiosity, right? Good morning. There's more curiosity, right? So you're motivated to know more about this person. You know, maybe you could say, like, you want to get in their pants or something like that, or maybe you want to get married, or you're just looking for, you know what's so funny? Whether you're trying to get in their pants, or, you know, sexual incline, or someone you want to touch and kiss or spend time with, it's really connection, right? Because that's really what the value of life is. It's really in connection, right? I mean, like, why would you watch my video to the 12-minute mark? You know, we're all looking for fun. We're all finding some way to get connected with one another, you know. And I'm the same way as you, probably, watching these YouTube videos and podcasts or stuff, is that you're interfacing with someone, connecting with someone, getting something from someone, but you don't, and you love this so much. I'm just describing myself, really, that for me, I don't have to talk to that person, right? That person doesn't have to really know me. And the reality is, if you want like more out of life, you want to live a rich life, you have to have that, right? It's scary. Like, I have this person I wanted to message, and I was kind of afraid, you know, because, you know, I'm thinking in my head, well, I want to say something, I want to compliment him for something he shared, and I don't want, and the conversation might lead to something else. I mean, not a bad thing. It's just more like I'm making all these. I guess what it boils down to is fear. You know, staying motivated is really just fear. Or one of the biggest problems, I should say, about staying motivated is being scared. You're scared of, you're just scared of what might happen, right? You're scared of, what is it? Like, for me, like, I know in business, and some, before I got to where I'm at right now, I kind of knew, or started to know, a couple years ago in 2013, that I would have to talk to people, and I would have to get to know people, and I would have to get out of my comfort zone and conversate and build relationships. You know, I kind of figured it out like 4 years ago. The problem, although I had this ambition to build an online business, I didn't have, but to do that thing was scary. You know, it was really scary, right? It was scary for me, and I didn't want to do it. You know, or I mean, I kind of knew deep down inside that's what I had to do. I had to go interface and talk to people. You know, so it took some time. You know, it took some time to figure that out, right? It really did. But and really break through and find the motivation. But the thing is, I had this goal, like I wanted to work from home, or I wanted to be able to work from anywhere, really, and figure it out. And it took me years, right, to really get this going. And I had no idea I would be where I'm at. I just know that I wanted to do this thing, right? And you need the things that the things that distract you may sometimes be the things that will be the ones that sometimes will be motivating to you. And it takes a while, because for me, I'm 35, right? And when I finally like kind of woke up and I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to do this, right? I talked to someone about it, Mike Westerdahl of Critical Bench. I was talking to him about it, about Elliot Hulse, right? Who I'm sure who've heard of him. He's a popular YouTuber, a popular kind of motivational personal trainer, fitness guy online. And he said he had this video called Non-Jobs. It was about how he was broke. He told a story about essentially, having, basically failing in the supplement business, and getting to a point where he ran out of gas in his car. I'm laughing also. And he had to push his car, his van, to put, gas in it, and it was just a struggle, right? It was. I mean, really, that's almost where I was. Not quite that bad, but like it was bad, like how he described it. They had a baby, he was married, and and they're just like living in their in-laws' basement and just trying to like make it as a man, right? And that's kind of like what we're all trying to do, or men anyway, right? Everyone's trying to find their place. But I was laughing earlier because I had this what was it? I had this conversation and Mike was telling me about how Elliot used to have this van, and it was just like scary and creepy, like someone was gonna jump you out of the van, because it just looked creepy. He'd get phone calls, because it looked like some sort of like unmarked van that was black with curtains, and it was just so creepy. Anyways, going back to staying motivated, motivation comes, it's almost like you have to get to a point of like of despair, and here's an interesting story. There's one time I got busted for possession of ecstasy, and I had to go through this process of going to I had to go to Narcotics Anonymous, and I had to go to Alcoholics Anonymous and get this paper stamped, right? I was basically a part of the addiction process. Luckily, I wasn't an addict. I was just a kid in trouble, right? Probably on my way to being an addict, a drug addict. But luckily, I was caught into it, and I was scared enough to follow everything they told me to do. And you can pretty much guess what happened, right? What happened was, I going through these Narcotics Anonymous these places where everyone would confess. Good morning. Would confess their stories, and they would tell about how they would like just do some really bad things to people, stealing money, taking advantage of their family, parents, brother, hurting other people because of drugs, right? And it wasn't until the stories were pretty gnarly too. I had this one guy, one of my favorite storytellers, and he was really good. He had the best stories, and I just know that you have to find your place in a point almost where things get really bad, or for some things, and it doesn't, people we're all from different places in the world, but I'm just saying, relative to where you're at, we find these places where we just don't know, if we're gonna make it, and that's sort of like what motivates us, is being in a bad spot, Hey, good morning. Your back is against the wall, you think you're not gonna make it, you think, like that. It's just not easy. That's what's motivated. That's how you stay motivated. You put yourself in a bad position. I've done that before. This is not a good idea, by the way. It's actually a pretty bad idea. But, excuse me, sorry for that snort. But, you know, put myself in a bad position. It wasn't that bad, but like I essentially maxed out my credit card, and there was one time as a personal trainer, like I had trouble doing 50 or 60 sessions in the pay period because you get paid a bonus. And it was just like something, I was lazy or something, I don't know what it was, but the point was, what I did is I just maxed out my credit card, and my goal was to be able to sell enough and service enough sessions so that I can pay off my credit card. And it worked. You know, I put myself in a bad or negative position. And sometimes you gotta do that, right? Or sometimes that just kind of happens by itself. You know, you really don't know what you're capable of until you push yourself to those limits or find yourself in those circumstances. A lot of circumstances you would never ever put yourself in, or even you would want your worst enemy to be in, right? You know, losing a house, losing a family member, losing a family to murder. So we have these things that I don't know where I cut off, but with sex, drugs, rock and roll, you know, things that grab your attention, these things that make us want to pay attention to them because of social media and clickbait, right? Things that have no choice, that you gravitate towards. Actually, I don't know where I was going. I freaking lost my train of thought because I had to hit record again. But what was I saying? You gotta put yourself in a position where, you know, or you gotta find yourself in a position of negativity where you have no choice but to succeed, right? That's how you stay. That's honest to God. That's probably the best way to stay motivated. The only way most people stay motivated is just out of necessity, survival, the will to survive. That's the negative. The positive is getting to a point where, I mean, you just have no idea. I'm kind of losing my train of thought. I like you hanging out with me though. I want to say I appreciate you. I'm very grateful for you, especially if you're this far into my video. I really do. I mean, if there's one thing that's helped me stay motivated, which is not motivated in like go kill it method, but just more like a motivated to do good, is a gratefulness game I play with my kids every night. You know, we say what we're grateful for. 3 things we're grateful for every night before going to bed. Just lets us remind us that, you know, hey, we have good stuff in our life, and it's good to just recognize it. You know, because I think a lot of us, me included, aren't happy with something. Something that, you know, either lack of appreciation from a boss, a spouse, or maybe you don't like where you live, or, you know, it's just something you're unhappy with. Like for me, like I wish I could eat better and exercise better, and I'm working out now. I'm walking, you know, and I trained yesterday, but like I feel like I want more out of it, right? I do want more of it. I'm dissatisfied with myself. Yeah. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. The video's quite long. All I know is that I appreciate your time. Hope my really long video on how to stay motivated helped you, even though I rambled a ton. Leave a comment. Again, it helps. And whatever you want me to make, something that makes sense to me to make in this video, these walks that I do, I would love to make it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video. Bye.